Let me say, my name is Carolyn Taylor.
Cyrus Taylor.
And Mike Johnson.
And we were invited because Emory Grove is one of the historical black communities in Montgomery County. And we were really the hub of activity for a long time. And the community is famous for a camp meeting that happened from the mid 1800s until about 1960, which was
Methodist or Baptist?
it's United Methodist,
Okay.
but it started out as African Methodist Episcopal, yeah, in 1874. So the people in Emory Grove had the power to bring speakers, ministers, and singers and worshipers from all along the East Coast. And there were thousands of people who celebrated for many, many years, every year, annually. But Emory Grove was a self-sufficient community. We were next to Washington Grove, which was a segregated all-white community, which we were not allowed to live in. Also, we were self-sufficient with having businesses of our own. We did go into Gaithersburg for big objects or furniture and stuff that we needed, but we had our own grocery store and doctor and barber shop and beauty salon, and we had a couple of clubs there for people. We had famous performers, artists, musicians to come by, such as.
Well, it was actually called part of the Chitlin Circuit. Before integration, African Americans entertained in African American communities. So it's Ray Charles. I just saw a documentary on Little Richard. Well, Little Richard came to considered the father of rock and roll. He was there. Who else?
Tina Turner came to the community.
Ike and Tina Turner. So Fats Domino. What your names you may not know, but these are all Hall of Famers.
And baseball. Uncle Glenn, you want to talk about the baseball?
Well, I played baseball from communities down the county.
They had leagues, black leagues.
Everybody had a team, and we played right on the baseball down there. You could play day or night because they had a night baseball.
First lighted ballpark in Montgomery County was in Emory Grove.
Cyrus, you played?
Yes, I played.
What was the name of the team that you played on?
Emory Grove Taggers.
Taggers. Well, is there a story or two that you'd like to share with us about growing up in that area?
Yeah, one I remember really well because, like I said, it was the first lighted ballpark in Montgomery County. The field looked like Oriole Stadium, and so not on the weekends but during the weeks, baseball teams would play. But the Negro League baseball was very popular then, and so the people like Satchel Paige, the Homestead Braves, the Kansas City Monarchs, the Negro teams in the Hall of Fame played right there in Emory Grove. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Emory Grove was a family-oriented community. The families founded the church. They started out with the churches in their homes, and then they built the church by hand. And it was the church was the center of the community. And so it was a very, very close. So when urban renewal did come by in the late 60s, families were broken up and land was possessed. And so people got scattered. And so today, under the leadership of Reverend Tim Warner, we have a development going on, $500 million project where we're going to be building new houses, trying to get people to come back. But even without that, we're still going to have streets with some of the family names. We're going to have markers with some of the history so the people can still remember that Emory Grove was a very vibrant community. And the church is the only thing that's really still standing right now that was originally there.
Many of the people who were educated there were educated in what they called Rosenwald schools. A large room was divided in half, and many people got the education there. Then they built Longview Elementary School in 1955. All of this is doing segregation. From there, people went to either Lincoln or Carver. Those were the only high schools in Montgomery County. Montgomery, at borders, Frederick, Washington, D.C., PG County. But if you were African American, or Poolesville, or Damascus, or Silver Spring, you had to come to Carver.
Hours on the ride. his parents, the grandfather died first and then left the mother, and she had an attorney to handle her affairs with the land. And the attorney said his fee was her land. So that's another very strong story for our family, is that their legacy was lost to the lawyer who took her land for handling her business. So,
Yeah. So.
I'm just curious, getting here today with 6 or 7 other historic Black communities in Montgomery County, how does it feel? Do you guys ever get together as?
You know, she talked about she talked about a Reverend Warner. So one of the things he has done, and the local community and schools has been to put our story back together. So now it's out there where people can see the history.
Reverend Taylor is the minister, is the pastor at Jerusalem Baptist Church.
Well,
In Poolesville, Maryland. Yeah,
The one right up here.
yeah, and he's from Emory Grove, but he's pastor up here.
but all the black churches in Montgomery County, supported others.
We commingled all the time.
Anything that has something great, they will come out. If they had something that support everybody else.
I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share about the dedication ceremony we had today, and what the trauma and meaning of remembering these racial terror lynchings means to you.
Well, Michael and I belong to the historic Emory Grove Rotary Club, and we have been pushing Remember That Time, where we've been interviewing people and having them tell the history and tell the story. And we have, over the past 3 to 4 years, been, interviewed by many people by the county. We've received recognition from the county, and so we are reaching out and mingling and going to more events like this, where and my message is, people need to know their history. It's painful, but you need to know it, because you have a sense of pride in knowing that our people have survived, and the struggle was hard. But look at all the people who came out of Emory Grove who are so very successful and who have moved across the country now. And so my message is that we have to love one another. We're all one people. We have to love one another, but we have to understand who we are. And if I can understand you and you can understand me, we can love each other better.
No time is that more important.
No time. Yeah. I would just say, little by little, this is a very historic county. Has stories, has real life stories, and bit by bit, we're putting those pieces together. Today is a big piece because it deals with lynching and segregation. So today was really important, historical.
No, I'm just glad I could come. The thing about the lynching, I didn't know that for a long time. And one of my diggers was taking me to serve communion to one of their older ladies who couldn't come to the church. He said to me that the last person that was lynched in Montgomery County was over there. He showed me the power. And I didn't know. I couldn't believe it, because I never heard that.
Nobody told us that history.
Yeah, but these two kind of witnessed it with family. They wouldn't have a lynching in Emory Grove, but like I said, with the people living in Emory Grove, and right beside a segregated Washington Grove, they had a relative who lived in that area of Washington Grove, and they didn't lynch him, but they had a law that you really couldn't be there, and so they burned him. They burned him in his house. They burned it alive, and so hopefully that's a story that will come soon.
Yeah, they set his house on. Yeah, it is.
Yes, there you go.
And it's something that
That was my father's brother.
Yeah.
It's his uncle.
So that is a very painful story that we try to get out there, not to really, we just want people to know it, that did happen. In modern times. And that it was in the 60s when he passed, right?
Probably, yes. I was served, so it must have been early 70s, probably.
Early 70s. And he served in World War I, and he's buried at Arlington Cemetery. Robert Taylor.
Well, that story by itself just sounds so important.
Yeah.
we'd like to follow up with you a little bit
Good.
more on
Absolutely.
that story
All
and
right.
get a few more
Very good.
details.
Good.
Thank you for being here today, and just look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you for doing it. What you guys are doing is great. You're documenting the history of a people that no greater thing can be done.